All right, guys, welcome to the video. I'm so glad you're here. I'm super excited to share with you what we've learned over the last year of helping 600 plus gym owners grow here at Big Little Gyms. And if you're an active gym owner who's been stuck and hasn't made a decent paycheck running your gym in the last several years, or maybe you used to make some money and maybe you've kind of flatlined and are feeling a little bit stuck, or maybe you just started your gym and have no idea what to focus on, or maybe you're someone who's considering getting into the industry, or maybe you're a coach or something and you're considering opening up your own gym and you want to know what the work looks like to grow one. I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys here in this video the 2024 gym marketing plan that you should be focused on, that's going to help you get to 100,000 plus in profits and beyond, right? This video is for you guys. So welcome to the video. Like I said, my name is Will Hurst and I'm the founder here and CEO of Big Little Gyms. This is my company and I make these videos just for you guys. And my wife Erin and I started this business, Big Little Gyms, after more than 16 years of business ownership, running multiple 7-figure plus local service-based businesses. So, this is not a typical guru type of situation where I woke up one day, wasn't making any money doing anything, and I figured, well, those who can't do teach, so I might as well just go teach. Actually, it's quite the opposite. We have a passion for fitness in our lives and helping people. So 2 of those businesses that we started were gyms, right? They were independently owned group fitness centers that me and my wife ran for a decade. One of my gyms had a partner. The second one didn't. Both of them were very, very successful gyms in 2 completely different markets. We started, bootstrapped, launched, grew, reinvested in one, grew it to a pretty substantial situation. My partner decided he wanted to take it on. I decided I wanted to move back states, and I went back to another where I was from here in Arizona and started a gym here that was even more successful the second time around. But it wasn't always smooth sailing, right? These gyms were bootstrapped. They were started from scratch, and they were both eventually were built to make several millions of dollars, but they had their ups and downs. And so we've been through the grind. We know what the highs and the lows look like. We started several businesses, some of them as far back as the '08 recession. We were caught up in that, and luckily we were able to navigate those waters and know what the ups and downs look like and how to build really good businesses that could sustain outside forces, right? That's how you know you have a really, really good business, is if you have a moat built around it of sorts, right? So all this in combination with 15 years of experience in digital advertising, that's been the one thread for me that's kind of shown up in all my businesses, is being talented and somewhat skilled at advertising and marketing, and also sales, right? I have a background in sales. So these things all kind of came together to where, it makes sense for us to consider going this route. That being said, it wasn't really necessarily my focus. I started BLG because I was very active in the industry of gym owners, right? So I'm in several circles with gym owners where there's a lot of conversation that go on. And over the years of owning my gyms, I was very much like an open book. I was just sharing with a lot of other gym owners. And the reason why is because, for the most part, I realized that most of these gym owners weren't businessmen like myself. They hadn't started several businesses prior to opening their gyms. For me, my first gym was actually a side project. Even though it was a successful business, it was a very small business compared to my bigger business, which was a multiple 7-figure, multi-state company that did a lot of import-export and also was distributing product across the country and also was locally installing projects in multiple states. And so my gym was really just my passion project. And as I was doing it, I was just sharing with a lot of gym owners, going back as far as the early 2010s, in all these circles. And after a while, my popularity grew, and a lot of them just started asking me, what I was doing to grow my gyms. And after a number of years, several of those people became my friends because I was just giving them advice. And a lot of the advice would work. They began asking me for professional help. They started asking, like, hey, can you just do the stuff you do for me? Can you set up everything for me? Can you show me how to do these things the right way? And I said, well, it's not really what I do, but sure, I'll go ahead and give it a try. So when I started BLG, I did this as a way to share the wealth, and I've since served 1,000 plus gym owning clients since, and we have not looked back. We have the most thriving and real tribe of gym owners on the planet, getting some of the most incredible results anywhere. And I'll show you more about that later in the video. People like Lauren Fitzsimmons. This is a gym owner that actually probably paid for about 2 or 3 other guru expert programs that let him down. He was about to go out of business when we were on a sales call. And I stressed Lauren to just give it a go. And I told him, if it doesn't work, Lauren, I'll give you your money back. And he jumped on with us. And here he is 8 months later, tripled his revenue at his gym. And his community is vibrant and full of amazing humans. He can breathe in the financial department. They actually booked their first vacation in about 3 years, are excited to finally get away for a few days. This is just so exciting to hear that these gym owners are getting a little bit of a break. So I remember there were moments when I owned my gym where I just didn't get a break, right? And end of the year, it sounds like marketing is rocking and he's ready to take into the new year. I'm super excited to see what Lauren does. Danny Carnes here, another gym owner in our program. She doubled revenue from 2022. So for a lot of gyms, 22 was a peak year and 23 was actually kind of a down year because the economy kind of turned a little bit and things weren't as hot. All of our gyms actually stayed red hot through 2023 because we're not just leaning on the market and a bunch of stimulus cash being pumped into the economies in order for our businesses to grow. We are building our own demand for these businesses, right? So she doubled her revenue from 2022. She added more coaches to her team, and she's able to work from home and be with her one-year-old. They just had their baby. Congrats to them. And they added more class times to accommodate for the larger number of members. And they've even added an ongoing youth membership program. And they finally just hit 35K in December. This, what is typically supposed to be the slowest month of the year, they just hit their PR month in that month. And then Drew Gurton here, finally just got to take a 2-week-long vacation with his family, one to Maui and one back to see his family in Michigan, and had a record-breaking year of $700,000. I know he actually had some months that went over the $1 million run rate. He also hired an operations manager, and he's providing healthcare coverage for his team for anybody that works over 20 hours a week. So these are real business owners making real progress. And so everything I'm going to share you here in this video is based on my interaction with these clients in the last 5 years. It's actually 5 years as of February of this year that Big Little Gyms has been in business. And in that time, we've worked with over 1,000 clients. We have over 600 plus active. We have 50 plus in our barbell business mastermind, which is only gym owners that are generally doing over $50,000 a month in revenue. And in that, we have the opportunity to learn a lot about what's working and what's going to be the sustainable, right? Because there are the unsustainable practices that you'll see gurus and experts marketing on the internet, these get members, 100 members in 30 days kind of things that are based on all sorts of guarantees that and caveats and whatnot. And rather than risking our reputation or selling our soul for things that we're not genuinely interested in selling to people, I want to show you how to do it the sustainable way that feels good, that's going to help you grow your gym grow in a way that suits your vision for it, right? Because that's who all the clients are that we work with, right? These aren't people that didn't just these aren't people that started gyms just to make money. In fact, if you chose gym ownership as the way you were going to get massively rich and build an empire, then you might not be the best decision maker, because those who own gyms will tell you that if it was just about the money, there's a number of other ways that they would go, right? If it was just about money, you could have went into Wall Street or sold insurance or any number of other things that are much easier to do. The reason why people start gyms is, yes, to make a living. Yes, they want to make a living doing this thing that they care so much about because they're good at it and they want to be paid well to do it, right? But they do it because they're passionate about it and they want to live their dream and their passion, right? So it's not only just about the money. That being said, these are businesses and we do have to make money. So we're going to get into that today, right? And there are many, many more people just like Drew, Lauren, and Danny here, you know, like this page here. We have several testimonials from active clients of our program. And I have probably several hundred of these I can show you of clients that have had success in our program here. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and go back. Oh, it doesn't seem to want to go back. So we're going to try to get it to go back. There we go. Okay. And thanks for the patience here, guys. I thought about sitting down and taking several days to make slides out of this presentation, but honestly, I'm not a big slides guy. I just decided we're going to go ahead and just write this all down in the Google Doc and get into it, right? So in 2023, we have seen some massive changes to the market. You know, a lot of this started in 2020 when the shutdowns happened, when small businesses were pretty much shut down and weren't allowed to do business. Some markets opened right back up within a few months' time. Some markets, people defied the rules and decided to stay open anyways, which is totally, you know, in their hands and totally cool if that was their decision. And in fact, there are even some markets where they were supposed to be shut, but no one was really policing it, which is totally fine, right? Like that's you got through it. You had to do what you had to do. And as far as small business goes, the way I see it is you got to do what you got to do to take care of yourself and your family and your business, right? So at the end of the day, there's some markets where you're able to get away with that. There's some markets where there was no way you were getting away with that. And some markets took years to recover. Some are just still now recovering, right? So with that, there's become some pretty massive change, including in 2024. 2023, we saw commercial rents jump considerably. With inflation, where it's affected businesses the most is the cost of doing business, and largely rents have jumped 200 to 300% in some markets. And I'll say that it's not a matter of when rents will rise, or it's not a matter of if rents will rise. It's a matter of when rents will rise, and it will catch you by surprise, because your landlord isn't going to come and give you like a year's notice to say he's raising rents next year. They might. Some of you guys might be lucky and have a really good landlord, but they're not trying to scare you or give you a reason to go shopping, right? They're going to spring it on you in some sort of period of time where it's difficult for you to go elsewhere because they rather retain you than replace you, right? And in some markets, you may not have a choice. In some markets, it might be happening all across town, and everywhere you go, rents are going from $1 a square foot to $3 a square foot. And that is something that we've seen across the board, widespread, right? So the bottom line that you have to hit to be profitability is much, much higher, right? So there's that. Number two, most markets are heavily saturated, right? So group fitness pretty much began booming back in the early 2010s and pretty much charged up all the way about 2016, where it kind of peaked and began to stabilize, and has kind of stayed there since. But since more players have decided to get in the market and kind of crowd the space, right? Like we all, some gym owners have started, might have been one of the OG locations in their market, and then a coach leaves and decides to open up a gym down the road and take some of those clients with them, right? So this is happening in every market, right? You're seeing saturation everywhere. And now we're also seeing almost like a new generation of gym owners coming in. We've noticed this here at Big Little Gyms, is you have a lot of the OG gym owners from the last decade or two that kind of just started this whole thing on passion and weren't really business minded. And then as of the last couple of years, with all the turnover of people selling their businesses or exiting their businesses or just wanting to be done with it, there's been some new gym owners coming in the game. And we know because they come to us here at Big Little Gyms and they want to put systems in place. They aren't scared to invest in their business and invest in the growth of the business and have some good systems and guidance in place to do it right. And these gym owners are coming along and taking market share in their markets away from some of the OG players. So if you're an OG player in the market, or if you're a new player in the market, either way, the markets are getting more saturated and more competitive with people that know what they're doing, right? There's a saturation occurring. Anytime a market grows like fitness has, you have a lot of decentralized competition, and then over time it centralizes. Eventually a few people own most of the market, or a few types of people own most of the market. And that's what you're seeing in fitness right now, especially as that growth curve has leveled off, right? Now, there is a new generation coming of age as well in regards to buyers, right? So for the most part, the group fitness trend that began in around 2010 boomed with the coming of age of millennials. Most of them graduated college in the 2000s, and upon graduating college, they wanted to do something different in regards to how they were going to have experiences, and they wanted to have a lot more community-driven experiences, be more outgoing. They also were more health conscious, and they wanted to do it with other people, more community focused, right? Big change from the generation prior. Every generation tends to want to change things that the prior generation didn't really see value in. And Gen Z is coming up, and they are different, right? They are more independent, and they are less technological focused based on the like what we can see from censuses and information so far, that they want to be more disconnected, right? They want more independence. They don't necessarily want to be held to the consensus of a group, right? In that regard. So this new generation is a little less interested in group fitness so far. That being said, as they age up, they might take more interest in community, since the workplace doesn't really tend to provide that as much anymore. So at the end of the day, they want something different. Whether or not they're going to do it in a group format, they want something different. They don't want to do the same stuff the last generation did. They don't want to do what their mom or their cousin or their uncle or their whoever did. They want to do their own thing, right? And so they want something different. That's why it's very important for you to differentiate yourself in your market as a new and exciting and different option. And in 2024, all this is going to continue to get worse. It's going to continue to go that direction. We've watched this trend and even called this trend starting back in 2019, long before the market was severely disrupted by what happened in 2020, right? But the positive is the fitness market, the health and wellness fitness market, is always growing as more people take ownership over their health and trust the system, and they're trusting the system less and less, right? They don't want to rely on big pharma and big medicine and big health to guide them, and they know that it's kind of a sham anyways. So more people are going to start trusting independent providers than ever, right? So it's making sure you're out there. So you have two choices here, guys, really. You can continue to do the same old stuff and hope the market comes to you. And in my audience, I've got an audience of 10,000 plus gym owners that follows me on social media, and I'm friends with some of them, and I watch what they do on social media, and I see their posts, and the ones that are kind of afraid to get help and the ones that don't reach out are often the ones that have been around the longest. And they just, they may have started their business at a time when it didn't require a lot of marketing. If you would have had a gym back in 2010, 2011, things were booming back then. And all you had to do was open the doors. It was very much a build it and they will come age, right? But as markets become more competitive, ultimately it's those that garner the most attention that tend to win, and they will shove out the smaller businesses that aren't out there proactively marketing or growing their businesses. And that's why it's important for any real business owner, anybody who considers themselves a real business owner, to have that skill set in the sales and marketing department, which a lot of businesses that are based on, passion often are based on the product, right? And if you've been doing this for a long time, congrats to you. And I think it's noble that your product is probably as refined as it is. But there are great products that go to the grave every single day in the world of business. Better products than some of the products that we think are great now have gone to the grave because they didn't have good marketing. They weren't able to get found. They weren't able to be validated, and they weren't able to sell it, right? So you have to be able to do those things. So that leads to number 2 is be proactive and work on positioning yourself as the go-to option in your market, right? You have those two choices. Either continue to do the same old stuff and hope the market comes to you, or be proactive and work on positioning yourself as a go-to option in your local fitness market. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that, okay? I'm going to show you how to pay yourself $100K or more in 2024 while running a group fitness gym. And that, of course, depends on where you're starting from. But I think even a gym that starts tomorrow can hit $100K in profit by the end of the year following the principles I'm going to give you here in this video. While running a group training gym, selling full price memberships to high quality prospects for premium recurring monthly fees instead of trying to bait people in with discounts or one-time front-end offers. Using simple systems that don't just work for now, but work for a long time without selling your soul and running the shady get fit quick offers that you see all the other gurus out there peddling. I'm going to give you all the resources I show you here to go and use for yourself. And if you stay to the end of the video, I'm going to make sure you know where to get a PDF checklist for this entire presentation, right? So here are our 9 things, guys. Number 1 being traffic. So the way that getting leads works is you first have to have traffic, right? A lot of gym owners out there will start to talk about like, I need more leads, right? And you really can't create leads when you don't have traffic, right? It's very important. 2 separate things, right? And what traffic is people landing, seeing your stuff, right? People seeing you on social media, people seeing you in the local search, people landing on your website, people landing on your different landing pages and different funnels that you have out there on the internet. The more people you get to land on these things, depending on how good the lead generation is thereafter, will convert into leads, right? If you have a very good lead generation funnel, the more people you get to land in that funnel, the more people you will convert. If you have a poor lead generation funnel and you get more people to land on that page, you're still going to get more leads than if you than you had before, but you're not going to convert as many as you want, which is what we're going to talk about when we get into the lead generation phase. So in 2024, what are we seeing as far as traffic on the organic side, right? Now, there's 2 things that we've seen in the last couple of years that have made some big movement in the gym world is local search. So now more than ever, with increasing frequency, people are using local search to find what they want. There was a period of time in the end of the 2010s where social media advertising was actually better. And the reason why is social media advertising from pretty much 2008, when Google ads kind of hit critical mass, which I was running a small business back then in 2008. I was running my company that grew into be a multiple 7-figure-a-year business. It started as a local landscaping company that grew into a large wholesale and distribution company. We used to buy leads on Google back in 2007, 2008, 2009 for about 5 cents a piece. It now costs on Google about $7 a click just for keywords like fitness, right? So just for someone to click on your ad on Google, it's about $7, where you could have bought that same lead back in 2009 for about 7 cents as a lead, not just a click, right? But naturally, anything that works, the market will find out about. The market will rush to it. You'll have competition, and eventually it gets priced out, right? So organic search has become the king of the mountain, I think, in the recent last couple of years. Now, we'll talk about social media advertising because it does still have benefit, and you should definitely be posting on social media because people are on there. But I like to think about it like this, is that organic search is where people go with intent to buy, right? So these are intent-based buyers, right? That's what organic search is. Now, what is organic search? Let's just pull this up real quick. I'm going to go ahead and type in a gym like Die Hard CrossFit, right? Actually, I'll pull up one we looked at yesterday, Pendulum Fitness. They are based out of Pasadena. Just met with this gym owner yesterday, so it's top of mind. So I'm going to pull them up here. And when I go to Google, there's, on a desktop version, you're going to naturally look down here, but no one uses this anymore. 85 to 90% of the traffic on Google now isn't seeing this keyword search results anymore. What happens on a mobile device is they see what's called the Google Maps listings. And it looks like this. And if I were to pull up this gym's area, someone searching for gyms in the greater Pasadena area, it's going to show something kind of just like this, right? And this is his location right here. And you can see that he is, for some reason, not showing up like he was yesterday. So let me go back to my search here. And unless I did this differently. Okay, so there we go. And gyms, there we go. Okay, cool. So this is, the local search in his area. We can see kind of how he stacks up, right? So these are all the gyms in his area. Now, when someone pulls up Google on their phone, which, by the way, even if they're using an Apple device, they're using Google, because when you go to a browser even on Safari and you type in gym near me, it pulls up the Google listings, right? The same way. So that's primarily what people use. People don't use the Maps app on your phone, the Apple Maps app on your phone, to necessarily search for local businesses. They use a search browser, right? So this is what's showing up for him in his market, right? And ideally, you want to be positioned as close to the top as you can be. Now, what we're seeing for local businesses is, first, you're seeing these two sponsored ads, which honestly, not a lot of people click on. These are very expensive to be in. Like, just to click on this right now, if I were to click that on Orange Theory, it probably cost them $7 or $8 just for that click, even if I didn't buy or submit a lead. And then you're seeing the top placements here for, different businesses, right? And what you're seeing in 2020, what we saw in 2023, that will continue into 2024, is Google is leaning heavily into this, and they're showing these listings more than the old keyword listings. So it doesn't matter. You can use an old SEO tool that's going to tell you how you rank, and it doesn't matter. What matters is how you show up here on the Google Maps listing. This is what's called a Google business listing. So if I click his location here, that's not his location. Where's his location? Right here. We could see, and the reason why he's not showing right now is because he's actually closed. And if your business is showing closed, it's going to show less. It's going to show the businesses that are open more. And you can see these businesses that are open 24 hours are showing open. That's why I recommend all businesses set their hours as broadly as they can, right? And because that'll get you more clicks during the off hours. Now, his gym usually, I think, ranks second or third here when he's showing open. But you want to optimize this for reviews, photos, responding to your reviews. And in fact, in Big Little Gyms, we have an entire checklist on this, and it is a very high-level checklist that was provided to us through one of my good friends that does SEO for Fortune 500 companies for a living. I helped him with some of his marketing and funnel stuff, and what he did in exchange for me is he said, I'm going to go ahead and provide for you a complete checklist that I use to get my customers to the top of Google and within 90 days. And these are big Fortune 500 companies. So he's given us that list, and clients on Big Little Gyms get access to that. But some of what's on there are some of the things I just mentioned, which are reviews, photos, and what you'll see is a trend where the businesses near the top are the businesses with the most reviews, the businesses with the most photos, the businesses where the whole profile is optimized. And there's a bunch you can do on the back end here to optimize that actually makes a big difference in regards to categories. And also some other things that you can leverage in here, like the photos and products and things like that, as well as responding to your reviews and getting user-generated content. This is very important. If your business shows up at the top of Google, because we have Google Analytics data for over 600 gyms and half or over 1,000 gyms. Some of those we still have the data on. And the broadest search term in any market for people looking for fitness is the word gyms. People will search the word gyms 10 times more than more specific keywords. And you might say, well, I'm a CrossFit gym or whatever, so the word gyms is too broad for me. It's like, well, if you serve general population, they're looking and using the words gyms first, because people are generally pretty lazy when they use search. They don't use a big long keyword strings. They're just going to type in gyms or gyms near me. And whoever shows up is who they're going to pick from. And if they're not seeing you in those first few search results, then it's as if you don't exist, right? So if you're showing up at the top of that search in what's called the map pack, if I were to show you the map pack, what that is, if I were to go into Google and type in gyms near me, what'll show up is a couple sponsored ads. On desktop, it looks like this, but on mobile, what actually shows up first is this little box right here, this little businesses thing right here. And this is called the map pack. And what the map, the top sponsored listing plus the top 3 organic listings. Now, if you show up here, you are going to get like 80% of the clicks for those keywords. And it is a lot of traffic. The gyms that usually show up in the map pack of ours, which when we build our marketing systems for our gyms, we do all the SEO for them, so they get that top spot. We handle some of this stuff for them. And what ends up happening is they end up getting enormous amounts of traffic when they get here. Because you think about it, even if you got 10% of the leads from 1,000 visitors, which at least that many are going to click if you're in this top spot here, that means you're going to be generating 100 leads in a month. So this is very, very important, right? So that is what is going on with organic search right now. Is it's more intent-based buyers. People don't use social media to buy things generally. Like they'll be influenced to buy things, and they'll learn about things on social media. They'll hear about things on social media, but they're usually a couple steps away from actually taking action. On search, these are people that are actually looking for a provider right now. On search, these are people that are looking to buy something right now. They're looking for a provider, and they're intent-based. And that is a warm lead. So if you can net some of that traffic, you will have better quality leads and more of them, right? Versus social media, you should be posting on, because it's kind of the next step. Once they start clicking on some of your stuff on organic search, Facebook's going to start showing them more of that stuff too, because Facebook's algorithm works that way. And if you also are getting some word of mouth on social media, if you're leveraging social media, which really where you leverage social media the most is in making sure you are recognizing and tagging your members as often as possible in things. And this can be a whole video in and of itself, so I'm not going to go super, super deep. But on social media, really the focus is on making sure you recognize your member. Like some of the things that we give our clients is like Consistency Club. We give them templates for Consistency Club, which is a way to recognize the members that have attended at least a minimum certain number of classes or check-ins at their gym in a certain period of time. And then they use those templates to recognize those clients publicly on their social media pages and then tag all those members. And when you do all that, what happens is all their friends see that they train at your gym. And now you start leveraging the word of mouth that social media provides versus just waiting for your member to physically go and tell them, right? So social media it's really important that you leverage that. And kind of how that works, if I were to go to like social media here and I were to go just to Facebook here and go to my business page and make a post. Let's see, go to my business page. If I were just to make a post here and say, I'll just use one of these existing posts, but say this post right here was a post that contained some recognition for a bunch of members. What I would do is I would tag as many members as I can in this post, but then I would share this post to my personal feed, right? I would share this to feed here. And when I do that, now I can tag all the members that they wouldn't let me tag on the business page. And I also check in there, right? So I check in and I select, my business from the location. In this case, I'm just going to select this city. And then I would select all the people that are in this post and tag them. And what that does is that creates this kind of like viral butterfly effect that goes out to all these people. And you're doing this pretty consistently, right? This is how you leverage social media, right? It's not for you to be on there consuming, right? Social media is a capitalist business model, right? It's built by Facebook, and they're one of the largest companies in the stock market. And they do that they do all this to drive shareholder value and to be profitable and make a lot of money. Right. And so it's not this place to for a lot of people, it is this place to waste time and consume and virtue signal and all these things. You're wasting your energy playing the game that they want you to play. What you should be doing as a business owner is leveraging this for business growth, right? Because that's what it's built for. Is Facebook in and of itself is a fast growth company. And you should be leveraging it for those purposes because it's what it's built for. And those who do that actually get to make money using it instead of being consumed by it, right? So that is social media for 2024 and how I would focus on using it. Paid traffic. Okay, so local search, I'm out on this. I don't think if you do the work up here on the organic side, I don't think you need to do paid local search. And it's also very expensive. We've got a cohort of gyms that run our paid search marketing trainings, and they are very effective, and they beat the market when it comes to results and cost per lead and things like that. But compared to using social media for ads, it is still much, much higher. And almost, unless you have a significant budget, it's very, very hard to generate enough leads for it, for even a $30 or $40 per day campaign to make it worth it, right? Because you need a certain number of leads to get in front of enough people to talk to convert when you're running ads. And so search, I'm not generally a big fan of that. There are some gyms out there that I'm sure will say, hey, well, I run search ads and they work great for me. And that's going to be very market specific. But we've got, 600 plus gyms in probably 150 different markets around the world. And I'll say less than a couple percent of them are having any success running paid search ads at the moment for like keyword searches, right? There are some things you can do with positioning yourself in the map pack here. Just like I showed you, you could run an ad, which we have a playbook for in the Big Little Gyms Pro group, for getting this top spot here, but it will cost you, right? I'm a bigger fan of using, if you're going to do paid ads, social media ads. So it's kind of inverted, right? For organic, I like search a lot more, but for paid, I like social media a lot more, right? And the nice thing about social media is like it will show the ad to them over and over and over again. So when they see you, it's not the first time seeing you. It'll also take those people that landed on your website and retarget them. And if they didn't convert, it will retarget them and get them to take the next action step, or remind them to come back and finish the process they started in, like considering doing business with you. So that is social media ads there. Now, when I say social media, which has been most effective, still, to this day right now, Facebook and Instagram have been the most effective for us. We have gyms both running our Done With You playbooks for social media ads and our Done For You program in the Big Little Gyms ads court that are getting leads for as low as $3, $4, $5. And they're generally, over the course of a 3-week campaign, generating 100 plus leads. And for the social media marketing campaigns, you can actually watch my video on that. I have another video on that just recently released about Instagram and meta ads that goes on a deep dive on those, and it's a little bit more hands-on how I would run the ads now. And we're having a lot of success with both like Instagram or Facebook feed, as we always have. It's been very consistent over the years. It's consistently also risen in cost because it's also gotten more competitive. But the cost per acquisition on it, if you're very, very good at the sales and follow-up side of things, can be very, very good. And that's, I would say, the biggest difference maker, which we'll talk about that more down here in the follow-up side. On the follow-up, on the social media side, it really is, the linchpin is follow-up, right? Because if you figure out how to run good ads, which is easier said than done, and that's why it really, really, I think, pays for itself times over to have an expert help you in this department. Even if you don't want to pay the money to have them run the ads for you, to at least show you the playbook on how to run the ads, which is what we give to our clients. We literally, the same ads that you can pay us to run for you, we also give our clients that are in the lower cost Big Little Gyms Pro group, we give them that same playbook. Really, the clients that are paying for us to do it for them are just doing it to save them money, or not saving them money, save the time, right? Those that want to save the money can do the inverse and literally walk through our step-by-step videos. You can also watch the video we have on YouTube here that goes into pretty good detail on how to set up and run ads on those same platforms. If you want to get a little bit of a taste of what it is, because a lot of gyms will run those and see the results for themselves, and then they'll end up wanting to learn more from us, which is great. So follow-up is the key here with social media, because the leads are going to be much, much colder, right? So when you run ads on social media, the ads are going to be significantly colder than traffic you get from organic local search or word of mouth. And a lot of gym owners are just not prepared for that. If you've worked in sales jobs before, like car sales, insurance sales, any like competitive niche where there's a lot of providers, or selling commoditized type products, then you will know what it's like, right? That when someone's out there shopping. But a lot of gym owners haven't come from that world where they know how important follow-up is, right? And when you're doing ads on social media, you're now competing in a space where like everybody else who's running ads in the area for gyms is also running the ads. So they're seeing your ad, but they're also seeing 5 other ads. So if you are slow to follow up with people, if you're not getting back to people within a minute or 2 of them submitting the lead, then the guy down the road whose ads they're going to see next is going to call them first, and that lead is not even going to respond to you. So if you've been running ads on social media and you're one of those people that says, oh, the leads are bad, and when I reach out to them, no one responds, that's because you're probably responding too slowly. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some definite junk leads in there. There are definitely people. Facebook makes it so easy for them to opt in and fill out the lead forms that you will absolutely get some junk leads in there. But it's not as many as people think, because also most gyms are very, very slow to follow up with people. And down the road, there might be a gym owner who's got a background in sales or is very, very driven, and he's beating you to the punch. And every time you call him, they've already talked to him. And that's one of those things that you would never know it's happening ever. You would just think the leads are bad, but they're just going ice cold on you because whoever talks to them first is going to be the one that wears them out and is going to probably be the one to sell them. And they're not going to want to talk to more people after that because it's kind of a daunting process to go find a new gym and a new community to train with, right? So there's that. Now, lead generation. Okay, so lead generation, this is very, very important, right? Because at the end of the day, you can drive as much traffic as you want. But if you don't have good lead generation, then you are not going to convert it into leads, right? Now, lead generation is the act of taking traffic, right? So if I were to pull this up for you real quick here, I'm going to pull up a little visual on my computer. I'm going to pull up funnel here in my search. And I have a great visual for this right here. Okay. So this is the gym marketing funnel. This is the, for most gyms, how doing lead gen is going to work is, lead gen is the top part of the funnel. That's like the first contact point. And lead generation means like they have filled something out and you have their contact information with permission to follow up with them. They've raised their hand. That's lead generation, right? And for most gym owners, this is what they want more of. This is the thing I hear the most, right? If you have good traffic, traffic is what goes into the top of this, right? But if you don't have your lead generation set up the right way, if your website is not optimized for lead generation, if it's not optimized for SEO, if the way you run your Facebook ads is not optimized for lead generation, then you will be spending time and effort and money on traffic that literally will just spill out of the side of the funnel or not even find its way into the funnel, because lead generation is the art of converting that lead, that traffic into leads, right? Now, where we see this the most in 2020, we saw this the biggest opportunity in 23 was website, because all the organic traffic that you get from this when you're on a phone or on Google Business goes to your website, right? So if your website is not built for lead generation, if you have a dated website that's really clunky and makes it really, really hard for the client to take the prospect to take the next step, you're pretty much talking them out of doing business with you for a number of reasons. If I know that if I go to a website and it is not user friendly, the user experience is not good, I'm going to assume the actual service experience is not going to be that good. And that may not be true. You might be the best service provider ever, but you're not doing a very good job of showing them that. People will assume that their experience at the beginning and trying to do business with you is going to be the same once they become a client, right? So when we build our clients' lead generation systems, we put stuff in place with the website and other tools that are optimized for maximal lead generation. And so what we see is often 3 or 4 or 5x increases in lead generation on their website as a result of these actions, right? And this is stuff that goes back for me like 16, 17 years of doing digital advertising and marketing, understanding heat maps and the way people navigate a website and what they click on next and how you capture that lead versus just like losing them and getting them to scroll, because people don't really want to scroll and go from page to page to page to page. What they want is when they are ready to take action and they click a button to take action, that it actually takes action and doesn't just take them to more information, right? It should not be like a brochure where they unfold a page and it's more words, unfold the page and it's more words. And they literally got to flip the thing over on its back to find like the contact information and then call on the phone. If it feels like a brochure, they will throw that thing in the trash faster than you can imagine. So your website has to be optimized for lead generation. And just to give you an example of one, this is a website we just finished for a client in St. Petersburg, Florida. This is a 15-year-old, very well-known gym, and we built this website for them, and it's built and completely for lead generation. And it's not about websites; it's about these intangibles, the system that we use. And what we do is we focus here on lead generation. We do have other things on the site that focus on meeting the client where they are as far as being a guide on the journey, building up social proof, which is very, very important, showing them how easy it is to get started, as well as answering some questions for them, and including what time the classes start. So, with this is completely optimized for not just lead generation, but also the things you can't see on the back end that are built into the system with SEO and page speed and things like that Google just loves to see. So it's very, very important that lead generation be optimized. Now on social media, it's a little bit different because you first have to get them there, right? So you want to make sure everything's optimized, because ultimately all these other traffic platforms, social media, Google, they all flow through to your website. So at the end of the day, if your website is not dialed in for lead generation, then you can work your tail off and spend a lot of money on traffic and just not convert any leads, because they're literally hitting a wall right there. You're putting a lid on the funnel, right? Okay. Now prospect reactivation. What is this? I'm actually going to Yeah, we'll go into this. We'll talk about this one next. So prospect reactivation is engaging contacts that actually have already reached out to you, right? So quite often when we meet a gym owner that's been in business 5, 6, 7, 10 years, they often have a big list of leads from the last like 10 years of doing business, sometimes thousands of contacts. Now, what we like to do is reactivate that list once a quarter with an offer to bring that back in. And we'll often see like at least a handful of new clients come out of that, if not multiple handfuls of new clients coming out of that, right? And so what we do is build in long-term nurturing sequences, but also having a prospect reactivation campaign. Now we use clients of ours get access to Gymnetics. It's our lead generation, lead handling, automation, follow-up system that does all of, it's pre-built with everything in here we talked about. And the prospect reactivation campaign is built in, and we trigger that every quarter to go out to old leads. And we will see like a drove of people come in from that, because those are people that may have opted in on a Facebook ad a year ago, didn't buy then, but now we fire an offer at them and now they're buying, right? So prospect activation, we call it a PR campaign, has been highly effective for us and all of our clients. And that's something you should run, probably once a quarter. Now, follow-up. Now, I already talked a little bit about follow-up earlier and how important it is, but in 2024, you're definitely going to need some help from automation and AI, especially if you start doing some of these things up here, right? Traffic and paid marketing and lead generation. Right now, if you're just getting a handful of leads a month, it's pretty easy to try to stay on top of it. And probably if you're only getting a couple of leads a month, they're probably good leads, because the only leads you're getting are people that are referred to you by word of mouth. So those leads are like, they'll give you some grace. They'll let you take 2 or 3 or 4 hours or a day to get back to them, right? But once you start getting more cold and warm traffic instead of just hot traffic, follow-up becomes even more paramount. And there are some huge studies done in the last decade by colleges like Harvard Business School around follow-up. And they found that businesses that get back to their leads within 5 minutes do, 60x more revenue over the course of a decade than businesses that take an hour to get back to leads. And an hour, in your mind, you might be thinking an hour is still pretty fast. That's fast I get back to people now. It's like, well, imagine if it was 5 minutes, right? So that's why you have to have automation and AI on your side to help with the outreach, right? We set up stuff, and if you were to opt into any of our stuff, you would very quickly get outreach, and it would engage you, and it would ask questions, and and some of it is very obviously, people know these days, right? People know it's automation and AI. It's just how you do that, right? Because people don't really care that much. They know that automation and AI is being handled, but if it's very robotic and it's not very warm, then they're not going to want to do business with you, especially if it's frustrating and it's not built well enough to answer some of their follow-up questions. Now, in addition to that, I'm going to add a step, and that's the manual step. And one of the things that we've seen the most movement from gyms in 2023 was a lot of gyms having appointment setters built in. And these are usually often part-time people. It could even be a coach, someone on staff, your front desk person can be tasked with appointment setting. And their job is to literally pick up the phone, the old phone, hit the dialer on your phone. And our clients will have Gymnetics and the dialer built into Gymnetics where they can just hit the contact and call that lead without it going through their personal phone. It goes through their Gymnetics line, and it'll call them, and they'll pick up, and they'll have the conversation, and they'll get them booked right there. Because the faster you are, the higher the booking rate goes up. And in your follow-up, you're not trying to sell memberships. You're trying to sell the booking to come into the gym. And what you're trying to do is keep the next 5 days out at your gym where you have at least one person coming in to see you every day, scheduled, coming in, and they're getting follow-up and confirmation appointment reminders leading up to that and showing up at least a 70-80% rate. If every day you're in business, you have 1 or 2 people showing up to sign up in your gym, you're going to grow every month, right? It's when you don't have people lined up on your schedule to talk to you. For me, like, I get anxious. I get nervous if we have a week ahead where there's not someone on our schedule to talk to. We try to keep at least 3 or 4 people booked on our schedule every business day to talk to. And that's because we know one of them is not going to show. We know one of them is going to say no, and we know the other 2 are going to say yes, right? And if we're doing that, it means we're growing all the time, right? So the manual follow-up step is huge, calling those leads within 5 minutes. We call it speed to lead, right? So I'm going to add a little bullet point here for those of you that want this document, which again, if you stay at the end here, I'm going to make sure you get it. That's huge, right? Now, front-end offers and pricing. This has also been an enormous breakthrough for us in 2023, right? So a lot of the gyms we work with are businesses that have been in business for a long time, and they just kind of do like a monthly recurring membership, right? And a lot of those gyms, especially like a CrossFit gym or functional fitness gym, boot camp gym, you join for a price and you just pay that same price all throughout your membership. Now, where we've seen some enormous growth for our gyms in the last year is in reconfiguring your front-end offer. Now, what a front-end offer is the offer that you put out there in your sales presentation that is for the initial startup at your gym, and it is a higher ticket front end offer. And this works incredibly well for selling more of your core offer, right? So what you're doing is you're anchoring with higher ticket front end offers, and you're selling into ongoing continuation memberships at higher prices. So we're seeing gyms sell front end offers that are 3, 4, 5x the value of their normal offering, and then continuing into ongoing continuation memberships for 30, 40% more than they're normally getting, right? And this is all about the presentation and all about the structuring of the offer and how it's presented and how you're building value in it. And a lot of these offers are more complete health and wellness offers instead of just being only fitness offers. A lot of them are fitness, nutrition, and accountability. Some might even include personal training elements or small group training elements, in addition to their large group models, right? And we're seeing gyms sell, a front end offer, usually a 2-part offer where one offers $2,000 on the front end, and then the other offers $400 on the front end, and they'll have maybe 10 or 15% of the people buy the $2,000 offer, and they'll have the rest of them all buy the $400 or $500 front end offer. And what that does is you're anchoring them on the higher price point, and they're wanting to buy the lower price point offer because the way people buy, and there's a great book on this called Irrationally Predictable or Predictably Irrational, and it's a book about pricing psychology and how there's a heuristic in our brain. We have heuristics in our brain that help us shortcut decision-making processes because it's stressful, right? And if I show you one price, your heuristics in your brain go off to say, okay, the option is yes or no. Which do you want to choose? And then you dwell over yes or no. And we don't want our customers choosing between yes or no, right? So when you have multiple options, you have what's called an either or. The heuristic switches and the brain's like, okay, which one? Not yes or no. They're less likely to even remember yes or no. They're just going to say which one. And if they don't want to take the more expensive one, they're just going to default to the lower price one, right? So we're seeing a lot of that in the front end offers. And then also the way the ongoing pricing is done. We have for all of our clients, we actually have what's called the Gym Offer Codex, which is a complete system that we've built for our gyms that's out of the box, ready to go. It comes with all the documents, templates for structuring your offer, including the sales sheets, the presentation, everything you go through with your gym step by step. And we also walk you through how to do this sales presentation to where you get $2,000 front end sales and $400 and $500 front end sales, as well as higher price point recurring membership options, right? So front end offers and pricing, that's one of the things we saw in 2023 that's going to continue in 2024. That was a relatively recent evolution for us in the last 6 months that we are only building on, that we think is going to make a big difference. Now, sales kind of goes hand in hand with front end offers. And these days, if we're going to go with higher ticket front end offers and have a more serious offer for our clients that's more intensive, we need to also take sales very, very seriously. And that means having in your space dedicated space to do sit down front end sales, right? When you go to a car dealership, they don't try to sell you the car in the lot. They just demo the car in the lot. And then if you ask anything about pricing on the lot, they say, we're going to go inside and sit at that desk in there. And the reason why is because that's an environment for sales. And in our gyms, we used to have environments for sales. We had a reception area that was in between the outside world and the inside world of our gym. And we would take people on a tour through the gym, and then we would come and sit down with them and do the no sweat intro process. And this process we refined over a decade that's step by step, that psychologically helps you meet the client where they're at, earn their trust, help establish the pain points, help them understand why what they're doing now doesn't work, helps them establish where they want to be, so they have this big gap in their mind of where they are and they want to be, and then positioning your product and all its value in your service as the bridge to cross that gap. And then building the value in the price point to where when you go and say what the price is, it sounds like an incredible deal, right? And that's very, very important to do with the sales process. At the end of the day, some of you guys might cringe because a lot of people that are, technicians or fulfillers or passion-based service providers often cringe at the thought of persuasion in sales, right? And I'm going to challenge that for a minute, because ultimately, if what you sell is a really, really good thing, which people are going to spend their money, 80% of the country doesn't have any savings. And the reason why is they spend it, because we're in a country where we spend, right? And they're going to spend that money on something, and most of it's not good. It's not healthy food. It's not healthy eating. It's not healthy drinking. It's not good habits. And here you are with a product that can literally change all of that for them. And you have to be a believer enough in your own products to believe that it is worth more than the price asked. Because at the end of the day, the outcome, if they follow your program the way it's meant to be followed, is worth, who knows if you could put a price on what that's worth. Definitely 7 figures plus for the average person, right? And they might not even see that value because most people don't value themselves enough, but you know what they're worth. And if you know your product is worth that money, then selling something is not something you are doing to somebody. It is something you are doing for somebody. It is not helping, it is not trying to convince people to make a decision that you want them to make for your reasons. It is you helping them to make a decision they already want to make, knowingly or not, for their own reasons. That is good sales, right? And so when we sit down with a client and follow the no sweat intro process and the scripts, and you get enough reps doing that, you get very, very good at being more persuasive in a way that's going to help them. And not only that, you get a client that's more bought in, because when you do this, you rally the troops, you motivate, you get people to want to make this big commitment they've been waiting to do they're waiting to make for themselves. And as a result, they get better results. They're more committed, they become better members, and they pay more money, right? So sales is very, very, very important in 2024, especially in this day and age where a lot of gyms are doing free trials. A lot of gyms are doing discount offers. Those have low conversion rates. People that buy on discounts don't tend to continue unless you continue to offer them a discount. You can't just come in and throw expensive things in front of them. But it is very easy to sell them if you sit down and do a proper sales process in a proper sit-down environment. So that's very, very important in 2024. And these are things that we go over inside the Big Little Gyms program and provide systems and strategies for that are very proven to work with some data to back that up. We have a lot of discussion about it all the time in the weekly pro group calls. Reducing churn. So this is a big one. This has been a big one in the last, pretty much forever, right? So for how things work with most gyms is you might be sitting here if you're a small, locally owned, independent gym and say, well, I don't really have much churn, right? You might not be saying that right now if you're watching this video when I launch it, because if it was just ending December, you're probably like, oh yeah, we had a lot of churn, because gym owners tend to be, business owners in general, people in general tend to be very, very, have a short memory when it comes to, when they lose a lot of people, right? If I were to talk to most gym owners in the peak seasons, January, February, March, April, May, they're gonna say, oh, no one ever leaves our gym. We have low churn rate. We're great at keeping all of our members, right? But then if you ask them in the middle of the summer or in the middle of the winter, it's not going so well, right? Like, how it works is most people don't lose any members from January through May, and then June and July hits, and it's like kids are out of school, members are traveling, people are going to take their vacations, work becomes more relaxed, and they're putting things on hold. You're getting cancellations. People are starting to ghost you. And so it's like all of a sudden now you lose like 20 members in a month, right? Same thing happens in November and December. Now we should see these things coming, but we don't. So how do we reduce churn, right? So there's two things, right? Number one is attendance, right? So attendance is the leading indicator of forward churn, right? And most gyms I talk to don't even measure their attendance. If I were to ask most gym owners just off the top of my head, and I know because I've done it, who knows exactly how many total classes were attended at their gym last month? Now, this is like the measurement of how many people actually used your service last month. Do you think Apple knows how many people used their iPhone last month? I bet you in a matter of seconds, they could find out. And someone probably knows, right? But for a small business with only maybe 100 or 200 clients, they often don't know, right? And often when they do that math, they find out that it's pretty low. Now, what you're looking for is you should be looking for members. Your average member attendance should be at least 3 times per week, right? Which results in more than almost 13 classes per month. If your average member attendance rate is less than 13 per month or less than 3 times per week, you're going to see churn in the impending 60 days afterwards, right? Because people who don't use things don't continue to pay for them, right? So it's very, very important that you're doing follow-up with your existing members. So that means weekly accountability calls, right? And what that is every Tuesday, what we do is every Tuesday we pick up the phone, we pull a report of everybody who didn't show up last week and showed up a Monday of this week. And we call everybody on that list to say, hey, what's going on? We noticed you weren't in last week. What happened? And I say, oh, well, I got busy, a million things, blah, 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 or I was on a trip or whatever. Okay, great. Well, yeah, I'm just making the rounds, calling everybody who hasn't been in to see how they're doing and check in on them. When are you going to be in this week? Oh, you're going to be in Thursday. Okay, great. I'm going to go ahead and get you booked in. I'm going to book you in our gym management software now for Thursday. What class time are you planning on coming to? And they'll go, 5:30, Will. And then we go ahead and book them in at 5:30. Okay, great. I booked you in for 5:30. Did you get the confirmation? Did your phone just go off? Okay, cool. It did. Awesome. See you at 5:30 on Thursday. Oh, by the way, when you come in, stop by the desk. I got something for you, right? And just like give them a fit aid or something, right? And we used to do this at our gyms, and we had a 300 plus member CrossFit gym, which was a lot of members for a CrossFit gym. Most CrossFit gyms can't get there because they can't keep the members long enough to grow to 300. But we used to keep everybody. And we were in an area where it was very transient, a lot of people moving in from out of state. a lot of students, and a lot of people, a lot of the young professionals that just didn't stay here long. But we literally would have people turn down job offers to move away to be a part of our gym because they showed up here and like their entire peer group and community, as well as their accountability, was at our gym, and their life was going very, very well as a result, right? So reducing churn is very, very important in 2024. And most gym owners think they're very, very good at this. But even at the highest level in our mastermind, gym owners doing 50, 60, 70, 80K, $1 million a year. When we go through their stuff in the Barbell Business Mastermind, because we're more one-to-one there, we find that they're not doing some of these things, right? So I know a lot of gym owners at the lower levels are definitely not doing that, right? Okay, and then last one is upsell and resell. So customers get bored, guys. You know, if you don't sell them more things, they're going to go and spend that money elsewhere, especially if you have members that have been there for 2-3 years. Like, they get bored. And if you do things like challenges to get members into your gym, you need to resell them on the challenge. We used to, at our gym, if we brought members in for a challenge, every 3 months we would run another challenge that they could do as members at a lesser price than the brand new member challenge, right? As long as they were paying their membership, they could do the challenge bolt-on. And we use Atomic Nutrition. My wife, Erin, has a system, plug-and-play nutrition and accountability coaching model with all the systems and the app and the meal plans and everything done for you that we would use to run the nutrition challenges that we would upsell our members into. And then we would upsell those members from the monthly, or from those challenges, into monthly recurring nutrition and accountability coaching that was fulfilled by this system that was very, very scalable. We would run like 80 members a month through it. So the upsell and resell is very, very important. We found that like when we would do things like bring members in from challenges, they would often churn out in like 90 days. But when we started offering a re-up on the challenge every 90 days, they would stay as members for years. So it's more or less like these things that bring people in, they want to keep doing, whether it's challenges or not, whatever you're bringing your members in doing, whatever brings them in, they're going to want the continued stimulus of. And what a lot of gym owners do, they sell something on the front end to bring people in the door, and then they just throw them into class and let that recur every month and expect people to stay. And you're not doing things to re-engage them, right? So you should have a value ladder at your gym. This is one of the things that we do with our clients here at Big Little Gyms and in the Barbell Business Mastermind is we help the gym owner establish their value ladder, right? What are the tiers of value that a member could ascend to? And we're always working to inform, educate, and bring the client up to that next level because a lot of them need it after a certain amount of time and they're happy to pay for it, right? And a lot of gym owners will feel weird about this because they're like, oh, they're my members. I don't want to sell at them so much. It's like, well, they're here spending money to be a client. And there are ways to do this to where it's not as salesy, right? So upsell and resell is very important, and it has to be done in a systemized way to where it's approached to where it doesn't come off too gimmicky or salesy. That's very, very important. So upsell and resell is going to be very, very important in 24, and you do need to have a heavy focus placed on this, right? So with that, a lot of gym owners know of this book, James Clear's Atomic Habits. And he talks about in that book that you don't rise to the levels of your goals, you fall to the levels of your systems, right? And so I want to tell you about the Big Little Gyms Pro Group. The Big Little Gyms Pro Group is a system for gym owners that focuses exclusively on helping brick and mortar gym owners scale. It is using proven, sustainable lead generation and sales systems that work, along with proven mentorship and guidance, to sell full price memberships to high quality prospects for premium recurring monthly fees instead of trying to bait people in with discounts, free trials, and one-time front-end offers. This uses a simple system that doesn't just work now, but it works for a long time. This is not a gimmick, right? These are fundamental and principle-based marketing systems that work for all the best businesses in the world, and you're going to be able to implement them into your business with the Big Little Gyms Pro Group. And this is without selling your soul and running the shady get fit quick offers that other gurus want you to run. This is also where everybody's aligned toward the same goal: growth, healthy communities, and financial freedom for you as a gym owner. And it's run by me and my amazing team. Right now, as of this recording, we got a team of 12 amazing people. Some of them are gym owners that are actively running our system, have had a lot of results in our program. And where the focus is on implementation and collaboration and not long, boring content. There are so many like gym expert mentorship programs out there where it's literally just consuming content for hours upon hours upon hours instead of actually getting implementation and collaboration going where you can actually have the rubber meet the road, right? And this is going to feel a lot like hanging out with friends, but with real business results. So you as a client will get access to the Big Little Gyms Pro Group, which is here. And this is like almost like a large forum with 800 plus members in it. This is 600 plus gym owners plus their some of their staff and spouses, other people help run the gym. There's 8 people online as we speak right now on a Sunday. You have access to our entire classroom that includes all of our content, all of our modules, all of our coaching call recordings, our done for you ads, the Barbell Business Mastermind, the Gymnetics Launch and Accelerator, as well as our weekly coaching calls every Tuesday. You'll also get all of your marketing systems built for you, built, hosted, maintained, and fully supported as a member and client of the Big Little Gyms Pro Group. This is all included in Big Little Gyms. And it's going to feel like hanging out with friends. And how we do it is pillar 1 is we focus on model, offer, and mindset. So we're going to have you go through the Gym Offer Codex and get your model, offer, and mindset around that dialed in, so you have confidence to know how to build value with someone and do proper sales, and build value in your offer and build the offer itself and build the model around it, right? What a lot of gyms do is they have their the way that they want to run their gym, and they just try to put a price on that, right? That's not an offer. That's not a model, right? We're going to build an actual money-making model that professionalizes your gym's front-end offer. We're going to build the lead, pillar 2, we're going to build the lead gen engine. So we're going to build the lead gen systems, everything from lead capture to lead generation to automation to appointment booking to all the way down to them showing up for the appointment, the funnel, and the follow-up as well. We're going to show you how to drive traffic using paid and organic marketing systems that are already done for you, out of the box, ready to go. And last but not least, and this is definitely not all, there's far more our program goes into, but fine-tuning operations and fulfillment. So once your gym starts to grow, what you'll find is it'll start to stress your operations and fulfillment systems, including having SOPs around attendance and making sure your members are showing up and staying organized and hiring and building your team and building your empire. This is big. So once you start generating traffic, you're going to start generating leads. When you start generating leads, you're going to start generating appointments. When you start generating appointments, you're going to start generating more sales. When you start generating more sales, you're going to start needing to build a better operation and fulfillment model. And that's a big part of this, right? And the community is a private community that is built to collaborate with 600 plus growth-focused gym owners who are winning. You have 2 times a week live calls that you get access to, both a strategy and mastermind call with myself and a tech call with our team that'll help you build anything you want. This is one part systems. This is another part guidance and mentorship, and another part of it is collaboration. You're going to see a lot of reinforcement from other gym owners in your program. A big part of what we do is tribe. We have a lot of, we have even live events that our clients get to go to. We're going to meet with other gym owners. And as a gym owner and as a business owner, it's very, very important that you don't sit on the island by yourself for very long. It's a very, very lonely place to own a business. And a lot of people don't understand what that is like. And how you get out of the crux of that is you surround yourself with other people who do what you do and do it successfully. You elevate the level of the people you spend time around, right? The old saying is that you are the sum average of the 5 people you spend the most time around. And in business, that is 100% true. So if you're not hanging out with people that do what you do for a living at a high level, you're setting your mind is setting the bar very low subconsciously. You need to be around more people, and we're engaging every day. People are posting questions in the school group, asking questions about a number of topics, getting answers, getting reinforcement, getting confidence around their business and their decision making. And it is just a very, very positive place to be a part of, and a good energy to be a part of. The timeline works like this: the first 6 weeks, our team is going to onboard you and get your entire marketing and lead generation system set up for you. And then each month we have dialed in content and ongoing strategy and focus for growth provided for you, as well as the weekly live coaching calls where we're focused on what is working right now, what we're going to be putting our energy into, and what results you should be looking at. The next steps are for you to go to biglittlegyms.com and book your discovery call. When you get to our website, you'll see a Get Started button. You can click that. Super, super easy. Formal pop-up with basic information, name, phone number, email. That'll come over to us. That way, if you don't book your time, we can follow up with you and just answer any questions you have. On the next step, it will ask you to book your discovery call. And it'll ask you a few other questions about your business, about your current situation, your desired situation, and what you're looking to learn and get more of. And then on the call, we'll go through that together. We'll do a discovery about your business. We'll deep dive, some of what we see now for your business and where we see big improvements. And then we'll show you how our systems and how our processes and how our services can help you get there. If you need more social proof, you can also go to our website and you can go to this link here. We'll show you all of the social proof from all the gym owners. Just to show you a few more here, like Kevin Allen here grew his revenues 40% from year end 2022 to the end of 2023. Michael Bone here, gym owner in Texas, has been a client of ours for 4 years and has grown his gym from $400,000 a year revenue to $738,000 in revenue. Ryan Seberg here, recent addition to the BLG tribe, has I think only 75 days since he started, has increased his revenue by 43% from 2022. Huge. Joey West here, also a recent addition to the BLG tribe. Just this, I think 4 months ago joined us. 36 new members in December, all organic, right? Omar Foster, it's a gym in Las Vegas. It said it's been nothing but growth since joining BLG 6 months ago. They've doubled their Google reviews, over 10K on sales on their Black Friday offer, which is something that we did on a Tuesday pro group call, and we laid out the entire process and gave all the landing pages and funnels and automations to our clients to go and run. And he ran that. We had multiple gyms, probably 100 gyms, generate 5 figures in revenue on Black Friday. Sean McAuliffe here. This is actually a gym I believe is in Japan. He's got his revenue back up over his pre-COVID numbers. And this is as of joining us relatively recent. And he's learning a hell of a lot and is keen to keep learning. Clinton Russell here grossed $559 last year. Pretty established gym owner, been with us a few years. Has seen nothing but continued growth, $750 this year. He's skiing in Jackson Hole with his kids. He has 3 full-time PTs working for him. One full-time, he has 3 PTs, 1 full-time, 2 part-time. He's hired one of the hour coaches to do billing. His wife has joined the Navy Reserves because she has time to go and pursue that because they're both in the military. He hired a coach and is prepping hard for the 2024 Masters CrossFit Games. He's a CrossFit Games athlete, very competitive. Kim is our head coach, and the other main coach, they're taking them to the BLG event. So they're on our Barbell Business Mastermind, which is in Miami. We've rented a couple houses, and all of our clients in the Barbell Business Mastermind are going to be hanging out for the weekend, putting heads together about how we can to collectively grow our businesses and change the future outlook of this industry to one of growth and prosperity. And then he finally realized the power of what he's created, which is just amazing to see. Really, really cool guy. Donovan here joined BLG in July of 2023. He was averaging 37K a month, and then hit a single month PR of 76K in December after joining us. Also increased revenue just in that short period of time over the year before. Lauren here has tripled his revenue in 8 months. Their community is vibrant. Can actually breathe a bit in his financial department, and his wife has booked their vacation. First one in 3 years, which if you own a gym and you're not making any money, you know what that's like. I've been there. I had 5 years where I didn't take a vacation when I owned my gyms. It was rough. Went through some major life shifts during that period of time, questioning a lot of things. And so to see Lauren having that space with his family is huge. John here, every month in 2022, they did 22, grew from 10K to 20K. This year, every month was over 20K. And they had 4 months over 30K. And they increased their overall revenue for the year by over $125,000, right? And for these gym owners, and I believe they're in Iowa, maybe I'm misspeaking here, but that's good money. I mean, they have nice, reasonable cost of living, lower overheads. That's probably mostly all profit for them, right? And they had a great conversation with other gym owners in BLG at the Barbell Business Mastermind, and they're starting to understand the power of leverage, planning, and tracking. Because we take business very, very seriously here at Big Little Gyms. This is like, there's no, treating a gym like this isn't a serious business. We take it very seriously. We get systems in place. Drew Girton here did over $700,000 last year, hired an operations manager, providing healthcare for his team. Adam Berezowski joined BLG at the beginning of the year, and he took significant ownership over his life and his business. He's been in business for 14 years and felt like he was building the company for other people's dreams. After his Scottsdale event, he had a massive awakening and has been on fire ever since, finishing the last quarter of the year by creating new systems to scale his operation, raising his rates. And I want to say it goes on to say he had a big, some PR months. Eric Peterson here signed up with BLG in February. Revenue's up 24% over year one, consistently got into the Tuesday calls and is making some big movements. Mike Monarch, OG in our program, brought in over 140K a month more in revenue in 2023. Topping out 860K. Mike Monarch's one of the gyms in our program that regularly does over 80K months. Absolutely crushing it, guys. So with that, go to biglittlegyms.com and get started, guys. We're very excited to work with you. Our program is very, very effective. You're going to see a lot of momentum and progress when you join our program. You're going to get a lot of clarity and next steps. You're going to see that we focus on things that actually work and not these gimmicky things that might work for a minute and stop working and that you can't recycle and reuse. And we're focused on the big picture, and we're focused on you as a gym owner. That's really the big thing that I want all the gym owners that watch my videos to know, is that like it's your business is one thing, but you are an even more important thing. You and your family and your freedom is the most important thing to me. I spent 10 years of my life owning gyms, went through some of the best times, some of the hard times of my life owning gyms. It's a business that can be very unforgiving, but also very, very rewarding at the same time. And some of you guys already know that. And for me, my goal is to try to help you guys liberate yourselves and have more freedom and get on the other side of the things that you don't know. Because there were things that, as I was going through my learning curves, I've had mentors and guides and coaches, and I spent hundreds of thousands, probably $1 million plus to date on mentorship, guidance, coaching, and resources across the years of owning my businesses. Some of the best investments I ever made and the most growth I ever saw were from getting guidance, mentorship, and systems in place from people I trusted, that I knew I could, if I did the work, I was going to get the results, right? And my goal is to provide that stuff for you guys and also help relate with you guys on a day-to-day basis as to what's going on, help you see the bigger picture. Because sometimes when you're in it every day and it's stressful and things are shaking and moving, even when it's growing, things are stressful. And we all have personal lives too, right? Having someone that can help you stay focused is key, and giving you clear action steps and maintaining a clear vision is very important to making sure we're in this for the long haul. So that's it, guys. Go to biglittlegyms.com and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching my video today. Bye.